I get to talk to Sara Bennett today and Meara Platt. Ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you for having us.
So Maeve Grayson also had a release this week, but she's a little under the weather, so we'll catch up with her at another time. But her release is To Steal and Earl, which is book 3 in the Sisterhood of Independent Ladies. I love the series title for that one. So I'll make sure that I pop the link in the comments so you have a chance to grab that one if you haven't gotten it already. It's Maeve's first foray, I think, into a Regency series, and it's doing really well. So we have a chance to grab that one and the others in the series. But let's start by talking about Meara's book, which is The Moonstone Pirate. The Moonstone Pirate. Like, who doesn't love a pirate? Which is book 6 in the Moonstone Landing series.
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm so excited to have this one come out because this is a story of Imogen is the heroine, and she was introduced back in book 1 when she and her sister, her older sister, were just children, were little girls. And so throughout the series, we've seen them kind of grow up a little bit. And now they each have their romance. So her sister Ella had her romance in The Moonstone Hero, which was really get your tissues out. It was like a tough, I really gave the hero a very tough backstory, and it was a very emotional kind of book. But this one, Imogen, she's a little butterfly, and she's artistic. She's just very gentle, kind, and very smart, deceptively smart. People don't think of her as that sharp-witted because she's very, kind of artsy and sweet. But she's the story basically opens up where the hero, who's, oh my God, Draco, he's great. He's the pirate. He's inherited the earldom. He actually was a privateer for the queen. Actually a privateer, not for the queen. It was for the royal family, for the monarch at the time. It wasn't, not Queen Victoria yet, but so he's actually on a secret special assignment that the Crown agents approached him about because he happened to buy this property in Moonstone Landing, and they have some smugglers' caves in those properties that had been used throughout the centuries. So it was perfect. And because of his experience, he knows all of these pirates and he's had experience on the high seas and stuff. They're trying to get him to lure these particular smugglers who were smuggling guns in for a rebel plot against the crown. And they caught wind of this plot, but they don't know who exactly is behind it. So this is Draco is, that's his role. He's just moved into Moonstone Landing and plans to live there full time, but this little sidetrack is his role. And of course it goes completely wrong from the start because he throws a party, a masquerade ball, to introduce himself to his neighbors. And Imogen, who really is like the little soul of a butterfly, she comes dressed up as a butterfly. Of course, she's gorgeous. So, yeah, and it's he is instantly attracted to her, and of course, trying to resist because he's in the middle of this plot that he doesn't want to get anybody. Doesn't want to get too close to anybody and get them caught up in it. But then a dead body appears at the party. Someone was found murdered. And actually Imogen, with her artistic talents and stuff, is able to actually be very helpful to him in figuring out who was there, who the suspects were, and everything. So anyway, it's a fun, right? There's murder and rebel plots, but it's just a fun story. And Draco is just hot, and I had so much fun writing the scenes between them. She's just this innocent, wonderful little thing, and he's just nuts for her. He's just, and it's like, but I'm like, he's just going, I can't do this now. But of course he's going to kiss her because he can't
Of
resist. So
now, I love how excited you get about your heroes, but I also love the way you write. He falls first because I love it. I love it when he falls first. It's like that's one of my favorites.
yeah, and I'm glad you raised that because that really is that's just. I just find that when I write these stories that there's just something very, because sometimes, these heroes, they're sometimes a little bit naughty. They're sometimes, they're arrogant. They got some faults, but they love their heroines. They know what they like, and when they see this person that's going to fill their heart, they recognize it.
Yeah.
And I just love writing
Mm-hmm.
the heroes that way. I just do. So, and I know this is the last book so far in the series, but I've got a novella called The Moonstone Mermaid that's going to come in the Hot Duke Summer Anthology.
Oh, fun!
Yeah, because I can't stop writing. And maybe there will be more. I have to talk to Dragonblade about it, but I have another series lined up with them that's going to come out next. So that's
Lovely.
which will
So
also
it must be sad to say goodbye to all those characters.
It is. I get, I really got emotionally involved with these characters. They really meant a lot to me, and I hope it translates on the page as well. And it was the same thing. I have a long series with Dragonblade, the Book of Love series, that they kept trying to get me to stop. not really tried to get me to. It's just that we kept extending. Okay, another 3, another 3, another 3, another 3, and finally it's like, let's do something else. And so it took me a while to separate from that. But really, once I started writing the Moonstone Landing series, I loved the characters. I loved the whole concept, and I just there's magic in those moonstones, and on night of a full moon, you'll know true love with the moonstone shine. It's just, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, your books have that, just like not paranormal, but almost like just that little bit of element of because the Book of Love is that way too. It's like it's not exactly a magic book, but it's not exactly not a magic book. It's like
yeah. And part of it is very much my feeling of that romance is just not. Romance is that moment of enchantment. So
enchantment is such a lovely word to use in this situation. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. And that's how I felt. And I just, so each book, I really try to convey that it's not just he meets her, she meets him, they want to kiss. It's like, it's really a magical moment. And that's what that's hopefully my readers pick up on that.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense. So Sara has her first book out, first book in the first series out with Dragonblade, and it is Seducing the Duchess, and it's book 1 in the Disgraceful Duchesses series. So I'm assuming these are duchesses who have done some things.
Not sure if that. Yes, they are. They're looking for love, and they've been married, they're widowed, and they really want the man of their dreams, and that wasn't him. so that's there. I took the it was the Gunning sisters in Georgian England. They were beautiful but poor sisters who arrived in London and took society by storm, and they married really well. And I sort of took that as my template. And I have 3 sisters. They're poor but beautiful, and they come to London. Their mother brings them to London, and she wants them to marry dukes. So they all marry dukes, but they're not happy. So the stories sort of start with them being widowed, and then they move on looking for who they really, really love. And so the first book was about the elder sister Catherine, the seducing the Duchess, and she's been married and now she's a widow. Her husband was not very nice. She is still has to live in this castle in the north, very bleak, because she has a son, and in her husband's will, he demanded if she marries or moves away, she can't take him with her. So she has to. It's mean,
you put her in a tight spot.
Anyway, she's been on a trip. She's going home, and she gets snowbound in a remote inn. And in that inn, she meets Sebastian, who she met 10 years ago before she was married, and she's never forgotten him. And he's never forgotten her. And they meet, and she's been looking for someone to show her what real love can be like, or real pleasure can be like. And he says, yes, I'll do that. So they spend so they spend several days and nights together. It's a steamy regency, by the way.
It's Dragonblade flame, so it is.
Yes, you can probably guess that. So yes, and they have deeper feelings for each other, but they've both got places to be. She's got to go back to her son. He's going home after many years away. He had to leave. His mother died in an accident, which his father blamed him for. But now his father is ill and he has to go home. So they've both got a fair bit of baggage and problems that are keeping them apart. But and angst. I like a bit of angst. But yeah, as the story goes on, they things work out, and so the yep.
So if we want to figure out how they solve the whole castle not remarrying.
Yes, well, she can take her son away, but he would lose his estate and everything. But she's worried that if she takes him away later on, he will think, why did you do that, Mum? I'm not happy with it. But it sort of works out, in the end. I won't tell you how it ends.
I was just going to have to read it. You have to dig.
You have to read the book. Yeah, you have to read the book. But no, I like the characters were great. I like a bit of angst, and not too much, I guess. But in my books there's always angst, but always a happy ending. So yeah.
That's why we read romance, because we count on
Yes, that's right. You know that you're going to have that happy ending. I think that's important.
It's on a ride, but we're going to get to the good stuff at the end.
That's right. That's right. I have got 2 more books in the series. There's 2 other sisters. So I've finished the second one. I think that's up for pre-order.
It is, yes.
Yeah, and the third one I'm sort of halfway through, but not finished yet. So.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like so much fun, and I'm very curious to find out about how she manages the castle on this. So there's lots of reasons to read, and I like Dragonblade Flame. So.
Oh yes, and it's my first book for Dragonblade, so it's a new experience for me, a good experience. Really
Good.
Yeah.
We will do our best to keep it that way. So.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
We have a little bit of time left, and I thought we could talk about writing process. And since you said you were halfway through, Sarah, maybe we could talk a little bit about that. But I see a Kanban board, or what I believe is a Kanban board, behind you.
Oh yes.
Is that writing related? Do you organize your writing?
Yes. Yes. The top part is things that I'm hoping to do but may not. The middle part is
my top part is always really full.
Oh yes, look at it. And the middle part
great ideas.
It does help. It's sort of and then the middle part is what I'm doing now, and the bottom part is what I've done, which is amazing when you look at it.
I know, I like that part, the satisfaction.
I can't believe it. I've done that much. Oh yeah. So it gives you you think you're not doing very much, but then you look at that, well, I have. So yeah, it's useful for me just to visualize it.
Do you track your word count that way too, or do you just do projects?
Just do projects. I tried to do word count, but I do so much rewriting. That's how I write. I'm slow and I rewrite. I tried to work out plot out of book, and I just can't do it. So I start and I learn about the book that way, and then I rewrite and I rewrite and then eventually it all comes together and I can do it. So I don't do word count, no.
So lots of
Not
going
time.
forward and then going backward again.
Yes, I know, and it's takes up a lot of time, but I can't seem to do it any other way. I have tried. I've read many books about writing faster, but no.
I think everybody has their process, and I think that the only thing that happens when you become a more seasoned writer is that you start trusting your process more. It's not more comfortable, or at least I have not found it to be more comfortable. But
No.
I think you kind of trust it a little bit more, and you get less invested in chasing whatever is the new thing that's supposed to help you do it better, because there's just a way that your brain works, and it's better to work with that. So you're total pantser, or do you
I do have, as I'm writing, I'll think, oh, that's, and I'll make a note later on that can happen, or I do sort of do a little bit of that, but and then when I go back I can add, I probably am a pantser. Yeah.
What about you, Meara?
Yeah. So as you can see, I have a total blank wall behind me. It's all up in my head. I am a pantser, but I think very, very much about my characters and who's the right fit for whom. And you want to make them different because they're going to enhance each other, not be identical twins to each other. So you want to have a little bit of opposites, but also complementary. And so this is why I have so much fun. And I especially had fun. I couldn't wait to get to Imogen, because I had, as a little girl, and when I write the personalities just kind of like, they'll pop into my head. And she just kept coming out with these, she's like 4 years old, and she's like coming out with these little zingers. And I said, I love this girl. I can't wait to have her grow up. And
she's grown up.
Finally, now she's grown up, and I just, okay, who am I going to give her? Who's going to be, and, there's this, like, it's really, just this, he's just, just very manly, and he's a, privateer and rough, and, just, I mean, he's a gentleman, but he's, he's got muscles, and he's got, he's very adventurous, and, not afraid to mix it up and get into a fight and stuff. But, and she's that little butterfly. And I just love having them, the way they interact with each other. And, she stands her ground. She's gentle and stuff, but she's stubborn too. And she can think for herself. And I like to think all my heroines will have intelligence and be able to think for themselves. And, and so I love to give them these alpha heroes that are, they're gonna love them, but they're not gonna be able to, walk all over them. So,
I love that. I love the character-driven stuff.
Oh, sorry. It's good when a character you start to writing and it's just there in your head. Doesn't happen for me all that often, but sometimes it just does, and it's just great. Right, and you know them and you can write about them, but sometimes it's harder than that.
When you get the right pairing, like Jenny Cruzy talks about about the conflict between the characters being the third rail that that drives the plot forward. And I think when you get the right two characters together, they pull the story along. And sometimes you feel like you're just holding on for dear life to get
Yes,
they do the driving.
When you wake up in the middle of the night and they just won't leave you alone, and you can't sleep, and they're
which we can only say to authors, because everybody else would think it was crazy, but
but we get it. Yeah, voices talking in your head, of course.
Yes, no.
So do you handle series differently? If you feel your way through the characters through the book, do you have more of a sense of where the series is going to go than where the book is necessarily going to go?
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Sarah. Do you
No,
want
go
to?
ahead.
No. Go ahead.
Yeah. For me, very, very much. I try to get a sense of the series, and I always try very much not only just to have a hero, think about a hero and heroine, but think about the whole world that's going to surround them, and that world. Everything is important. The setting, to me, that's a character in itself.
Yeah.
Um,
Especially in
and
the series, in Minster Landing,
Yes.
especially, it's a whole thing.
yeah, and then if they have animals, the animal is a character too, right? So I was a hero here. He's got a dog called Parrot. So Draco, he's a pirate, and Imogen is convinced that he has to be a pirate. Who names a dog Parrot?
Only a pirate would do that.
And so, I mean, everything has a personality, and that's what I really look for. So the townspeople, that has to be set in my mind, and it'll develop as the series goes along. But to start, I have to know, and the whole the village that so Moonstone Landing, it itself has a personality. That you're going to have a certain feel when you come into this place, a beautiful little seaside village, seacoast village, and it's got the school teacher and the banker and the innkeeper and the tavern keeper and the constable. Yeah, I mean, they all have, and half of them are related to each other. It all has to me, that's very important to start a series, and then it could develop. I could stretch it out to go here or to go there or stuff, but to that, I think very much, just as hard as I think about the hero and heroine is all of the characters that are going to surround
world.
them.
Yeah.
What about
Sometimes
you?
I like Sometimes I like to write. I've written series where there's the overarching romance between a couple, and it sort of develops through the series. Each story, each book is a different couple, but that other couple are there. Things are happening, and then the last book is their story. I think that works quite well.
Because by then we really want their story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, tell me what happens. Yeah.
You get invested in these couples in the characters, and you want them to have their happy ending.
That's right. Yeah.
So are you morning writers or midday writers or end of the day writers? Is there a time that's your best time?
For me, it's morning. I get up fairly early, not 5:30, but about 6 o'clock, and I check through my emails, and then I'll start writing. I'll write till about lunchtime, and then I'll stop, do other things. I find my brain works better in the morning, and try not to overdo it.
Yeah, I think that's another one of the things that is specific to you. Which works best. What about you, Meara?
Yeah, me too. Morning is my most creative time. And then, since I still have the original career, I'll usually stop like around 10 or so. And so, because I do like a nice 3-hour stretch of just straight writing in the mornings. And then I do my day job, and then I'll go back to writing in the afternoon.
So you still write a second session later on?
Yeah. But I find my most creative is in the mornings, so the afternoons I'll write, but usually when I reread in the morning, and then I'll fix it and embellish and add whatever I feel needs to be done.
I find that in the if I write in the afternoon, I look at it the next day. There's a lot of typos and mistakes, and so obviously my brain isn't working properly.
Wrong names.
Yes. Wrong eye color. Wrong names. Yes.
I used to have an editor once who would put comments in the manuscript, and she'd say, "On this page you called his eyes hazel, and on this page you called them brown. Are they really the same thing?" Well, no, they're not actually.
No. Yeah. Or what's the song? It's like, don't you make my brown eyes blue or something like that.
Do you track word count, Meara? I know Sara said she doesn't. Do you?
Yeah, I track word count, not religiously, but I try to feel like if I have like a daily word count, I and I don't beat myself up if I can't get to it or if I can't, do or not. But I try to have just a loose, a loose finish line that I can get to, and sometimes I do it, and I try to do it, and if I can't, it's okay.
Yeah. I think especially when you're juggling a day job, having some kind of structure is necessary, because otherwise it would be really easy to get lost in that. Do either of you have any writing rituals that you do? Do you have to have a cup of coffee next to you, or is there some, do you listen to music? Is there something? I think Alexa lights candles sometimes,
Not really, no. I used to listen to music, but now I find it's distracting. So I like it to be quiet. But that's not really, no. I've got my cat here behind me.
Oh, we love seeing cats on camera. I mean, I say we, but that's really just me. I love seeing cats on camera.
I don't know if
anybody else does too, but
I don't know if I can show you Oh, look at all the mess behind me, guys.
Oh, there she is. Oh, what's her name?
Scylla.
Oh.
I don't know if you remember back a long time ago. She was my mother's cat, and now I've got her. But there was a singer, an English singer called Cilla Black. No, well, because she's black, she was called Scylla. My mother called her Scylla.
Well, that's perfect. That's just perfect. Yeah. Writers and their cats are like,
Yeah. Good company, aren't they?
No, I like it quiet. I need quiet to really concentrate, just get into my head and in that world that I'm creating. So
you don't end up singing along with the music.
I think it uses too much brain energy to listen to music and to write at the same time. Just need to focus. Yeah.
Do you both have offices you work in?
Very messy office, yes. It's more like a spare room, storeroom or something at the moment, but
yeah. I actually this is my little writing alcove. It is actually was my daughter's room when she was younger. And, now of course the kids are grown up and out of the house. So I don't cook, I don't clean, I don't do anything.
Yes, I used to have certain days where I'd clean the house and cook, and now they're gone. I don't bother.
Yeah. And I mean, I do clean the house. It's just like it used to be constant. Every day I'd be cleaning and picking up and doing laundry and doing
people making messes.
Kids.
Like they make messes. You can't just clean and expect it to stay clean. They make messes. So
yes,
and they throw off the clothes every day. It's like how many layers, how many changes of clothes? It's like I have 2 full loads every day doing this just of laundry. That I don't miss. I miss the kids, but I don't miss the work.
Still have one at home, and I'm looking forward to the time when I can put things down and know they're going to stay where I put them, because I put them there and nobody else is going to move them. So. Well, ladies, it's been lovely to talk to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to do this. Meara, I'm going to hope for more Moonstone Landing books, but if not, I know we have a new series, so there's always something to look forward to there. And Sara, I'm anxious to see the book 2 went up on pre-order. I got the notice today, so after you read the first one, you can move right on and make sure you grab the second one. I'll say the same thing I say every week, because it's true every week. Dragonblade books are their best deal on pre-order or release, so you want to grab them as soon as you see them. If you don't get it on pre-order, you can always read in Kindle Unlimited, which means that you can taste test whatever you want. You can read straight through. So Ladies, it was great talking to you. I really appreciate you taking the time.
Thank you, everyone. Always a
Nice to
pleasure.